California's got a situation on its hands that's as perplexing as trying to count your cash blindfolded. They're experiencing both a severe drought and major flooding simultaneously. But don't worry, they've got a plan, and it involves a $4 billion mega reservoir that'll blow your mind. Let's get into it. This is Billionaire Mindset. Alright, let's tackle the basics first. California's relationship with water is as complicated as deciding what to buy when you've got too many zeros in your bank account. Some parts of the state are so parched they make the Sahara look like a water park. Seriously, it's no wonder early settlers had trouble farming the land. Fast forward to 2021, and things aren't much better. They declared a statewide drought emergency, urging folks to cut back on water usage by 15%. But here's the kicker, we are at the end of 2023 and that emergency is still on, stretching over 1,000 days. It's like telling your chauffeur to fill up your limo's tank, and he starts siphoning fuel from your private jet. Now, picture this, amidst this never-ending drought, California gets hit by some epic rain. Not just your regular drizzle, we're talking about a downpour that would make no one nervous. Flash floods, towns damaged, people left high and not so dry. Governor declares yet another state of emergency. Wait, what? Droughts and floods at the same time? It's like buying a super yacht while complaining you're short on pocket change for a cup of coffee. So, how can one place have a drought and a flood crisis at once? It's all about water management, folks. Picture a tub with the plug pulled out. Even if you pour in gallons, it's draining away, right? Well, that's what's happening. When it rains, they get plenty of water, but most of it washes away, leaving them high and dry when it's sunny again. Now that we've explored the complex and somewhat baffling water situation in California, you might be wondering, can they do anything about it? Well, let's take a closer look at the strategies and solutions the state has been considering to tackle this water conundrum. California has a history of facing severe droughts and floods, which led to the creation of the State Water Project, also known as the SWP, in the 1950s. The primary goal of the SWP was straightforward: find a way to collect and store water during periods of heavy rainfall, so it could be utilized during the inevitable droughts. In its initial stages, the SWP involved the construction of more than 20 dams, creating massive reservoirs like Lake Oroville, which stands as the largest dam in the United States. These reservoirs, along with a vast network of canals, aqueducts, and pumping stations, allowed California to store water and transport it across long distances, sometimes even over mountain ranges. The most iconic component of this system is the California Aqueduct, which spans hundreds of kilometers, channeling water from the Sierra Nevada to Los Angeles, serving millions of residents along the way. The Edmonston Pumping Plant, a remarkable engineering feat, lifts water over the Tehachapi Mountains, towering over 600 meters high. Think of it as pumping a river over the top of the One World Trade Center. This comprehensive water management system has been instrumental in providing water to both urban areas and agricultural regions, contributing a staggering $400 billion annually to California's economy. It was a significant leap forward, especially when the system was designed and built. However, California's population has since doubled, leading to an increased demand for water. The existing components of the SWP are now struggling to keep up. As a result, the state has been grappling with recurring droughts, exacerbated by the effects of climate change. The average temperature in California has risen by almost 2 degrees Celsius over the last century, intensifying heat waves and further straining water resources. This brings us to the site's reservoir, a critical solution for California's ongoing water challenges. The idea for this reservoir has been in the works since the 1950s but was put on hold due to its ambitious scope and high cost, an estimated $4 billion. The focus was shifted to other projects like the colossal Oroville Dam. Fast forward to today, and California has decided that the site's reservoir is worth the investment. This off-stream reservoir will collect excess water from major storms, preventing it from flowing into the sea and allowing it to be stored for use during drier periods. The reservoir's capacity is staggering, with the potential to hold over 2 cubic kilometers of water, enough to provide a year's supply of drinking water to hundreds of thousands of Californian homes. So, how will the mega reservoir be built? Picture this, they're going to start with dams. Not your average garden variety dams, but massive ones. These will plug any gaps between the hills that enclose the valley. It's like sealing a massive, natural bathtub. The 2 primary dams, the Sites Dam and the Golden Gate Dam, will be on the eastern side of the valley, while others will be further north. Once the dams are up, it's time to fill her up. But here's where it gets interesting. Unlike traditional reservoirs created by blocking rivers, the site's valley doesn't have a major river nearby. Instead, they're going to borrow water from the Sacramento River, which flows about 25 kilometers to the east. It's essentially like diverting a raging river into your swimming pool, only this pool is the size of a small ocean. Now, pumping all that water from the Sacramento River to the valley is no small feat. It's going to require an immense amount of energy, but guess what? They've got a clever plan. When they release water from the reservoir during dry times, it'll pass through hydroelectric generators. These generators will not only power the pumping but also provide around 80% of the electricity needed for the process. Talk about turning a problem into a solution. So, while the site's reservoir is indeed a massive and ambitious undertaking, like any major project, it comes with its share of concerns and potential drawbacks. Let's dive into some of these challenges. First and foremost, the price tag. The estimated cost of building the site's reservoir is an eye-popping $4 billion. Now, while this may be a necessary investment in California's water future, it raises concerns about how this cost will be covered. Some worry that to recoup this massive expense, water prices for consumers could increase significantly. Imagine opening your water bill and seeing a 300% spike. This prospect has sparked legitimate concerns among the public. Another major issue is the potential environmental impact. Whenever you tamper with a natural ecosystem as dramatically as building a reservoir, there are bound to be consequences. In this case, environmental groups have raised concerns about how pumping water from the Sacramento River could affect the various fish species that migrate along this river. It's a delicate balance to strike between addressing human water needs and preserving local ecosystems. Water allocation is yet another challenge. California has a complex web of water rights and allocations, and adding a new major source of water to the mix can lead to conflicts. Determining who gets how much water from the site's reservoir will be a meticulous and potentially contentious process. It's like divvying up a billionaire's inheritance among a bunch of squabbling heirs. Climate change is also a significant factor. Rising temperatures and changing precipitation patterns are making California's water supply even more unpredictable. While the site's reservoir is intended to help manage these challenges, it's by no means a silver bullet. It may not be enough to fully combat the impacts of climate change on the state's water resources. Lastly, there's the issue of construction delays. Large-scale infrastructure projects like this one often encounter unforeseen challenges that can push timelines and budgets beyond initial estimates. The longer the project takes, the longer California has to contend with its water woes. It's like planning an extravagant birthday party and having the cake arrive 3 hours late. So, when's all this action happening? Well, they're gearing up for construction to kick off around 2024 or 2025. Fast forward 6 years, and you're looking at a completed site's reservoir, most likely by 2030 or 2031. Some folks wish it could happen sooner. Remember those floods in 2023? If the site's reservoir had been up and running, they could have collected enough excess floodwater to supply over 200,000 Californian households for the year. Talk about a missed opportunity. And there you have it, billionaires. California's wild water ride, and their $4 billion solution, the site's reservoir. Do you think it's a splashing idea? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're thirsty for more stories of epic construction projects, check out our video about the biggest abandoned megaprojects in the world. Thanks for joining us on Billionaire Mindset. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to stay updated on the most mind-boggling stories of wealth and wonder. Until next time, stay rich, stay curious, and keep that billionaire mindset.